In spring 1917, 3 years into World War I, 17-year-old Paul Bäumer enrolls in the magnificent German armed force close by his school companions, Albert Franz Müller, and Ludwig Bäumer. They pay attention to an enthusiastic discourse by a school official and unwittingly get garbs from fighters killed in a past fight. After they are sent in northern France close to La Malmaison, they are become friends with by Stanislaus Kaczynski, a more seasoned officer. Their heartfelt perspective on the conflict is broken by the real factors of close-quarters conflict on the Western Front, and Ludwig is killed by mounted guns on the principal night. On November 7, 1918, German authority Matthias Erzberger, exhausted of mounting misfortunes, meets with German central leadership to convince them to start ceasefire chats with the unified powers. In the meantime, Paul and Kat take a goose from a ranch to impart to Albert, Franz, and another veteran, T.J. Stackfleet, with whom they have developed not far behind the front in Champagne. Kat, who is ignorant, gets Paul to peruse him a letter from his significant other and stresses that he can't reintegrate into peacetime society. Franz goes through the night with a French lady and brings back her scarf as a gift. On the morning of November 9, General Friedrichs drives Erzberger and the German designation to a train headed for the timberland of Compiègne to arrange a truce. Paul and his companions go determined to find 60 missing volunteers shipped off support their unit and find that they were killed by gas subsequent to removing their covers too early. Friedrichs, who goes against the discussions, arranges an assault before French fortifications show up. That evening, Erzberger's designation arrives at the woodland of Compiègne, and Paul's regiment is shipped off the front to plan to go after the French lines. On the morning of November 10, Ferdinand Foch, the preeminent unified leader, gives 72 hours for the Germans to acknowledge the partnered expressions, with no space for exchange. In the meantime, the German assault takes the French bleeding edge after hand-to-hand battling, however, is directed by a joined arms counterattack with Holy Person Chaman tanks, planes, and flamethrowers. Franz is isolated from the gathering, and Albert is killed attempting to give up. Caught in a pit in a dead zone with a French officer, Paul wounds him and watches him kick the bucket gradually, becoming repentant and asking pardoning to his dead body. Erzberger learns of Kaiser Wilhelm II's surrender and gets directions at night from Field Marshal Paul von Hindenburg to acknowledge the partnered expressions. Paul gets back to his unit and sees them praising the impending finish of the conflict. He finds an injured T.J. who gives him Franz's scarf. Paul and Kat bring him food, yet T.J., distressed at being disabled, commits suicide. Around 5 a.m. on November 11, Erzberger's assignment signs the peace negotiation set to produce results at 11 a.m. In the wake of learning of the truce, Paul and Kat take from the ranch one final time. However, Kat is shot by the rancher's young child and bites the dust as Paul conveys him to the emergency clinic. Friedrichs needs to end the conflict with a German triumph and orders an assault to begin at 10:45. A melancholy fight solidified. Paul kills many French troopers prior to being skewered through the chest by a pike seconds before 11 o'clock while the battling stops, and the front falls quiet. A brief time frame later, a recently shown up German enlist that Paul had saved in the battle finds Paul's mud-hardened body and recovers Franz's scarf that was given to Paul from T.J.